Hello there, Battle Brothers, and welcome to another video, and welcome to another re-review video. Today we are re-reviewing Malleus by Dan Abnett, which is the second volume in the Eisenhorn trilogy. The first Warhammer 40,000 I ever read about a year and a half ago, and after this year and a half, after I have amassed a considerable amount of information and knowledge of the Warhammer 40,000 grimdark universe, I decided to reread the Eisenhorn Omnibus because I thought that I would get a little bit of more out of it now that I know the background, I know the lore, I know the universe, so on and so forth. And I have not been wrong. I haven't been proved right, and I am immensely enjoying the second time around reading of these books, not only because I know a little bit more, but also because they are genuinely good books. Well-written stories, and it is just a pleasure to be rereading them. Now, I have to say once again that one of the most interesting aspects of the Eisenhorn trilogy, I'm not now counting Magos, because this book contains the novels Xenos, Malleus, Hereticus, and Magos, plus some short stories. The Killer Image is my favorite, by the way. I'm going to get to that in future videos. And the fourth volume, the Magos, being about somebody else. You might check out my initial review, but I don't know if I'm going to revisit this one per se, but Eisenhorn does appear in the book. He plays a very important role. He wouldn't be in this omnibus otherwise, but it's not primarily about. He isn't the protagonist from whose point of view the book is narrated. This being said, we are reviewing Malleus, which is the second volume. And to my point that I wanted to make, one of the most interesting aspects of the Eisenhorn books is the character development of Gregor Eisenhorn, the Inquisitor of the Imperium of Man, from a Puritan to a radical. Now, the Inquisition itself is an immensely interesting organization within the Imperium, because it's really composed of many individuals who do cooperate and work with each other from time to time, and there is a hierarchy, quite obviously, but they are too individualistic to form some sort of grander team, organization, or unit. Like, for example, we know from the Adeptus Astartes, it's more akin to, for example, although very much different, but in its individualism, it's akin more to Mechanicus or Mechanicum rather than to Astartes. Obviously, they are men, humans, right? They are not genetically enhanced super beings. But for those of you who don't know, but I think that if you're watching a review of the second volume, you are probably have read the first one at least, Xenos. So who's Puritan and who's radical? Now, there are different points of view or like different movements within the Inquisition. So what's the Inquisition? Well, the Inquisition is really a society within the Imperium of Man, whose task is to purge the heretic and the demon and the mutant. Really, in a broader sense, extinguish everything that anything that endangers the society in the Imperium of Man, with special attention on the chaos spawned and the heretics and those who make pact with demons and the chaos and the warp, so on and so forth. So the Puritans are those that are very strict in these tasks, and they abhor implementing the usage of psychic powers, usually in their practices, in their job. They abhor anything and everything that is connected with the war, but there is of course something in between, so that it's like a moderate So there are different schools. I'm blanking on any of the names, every other names. Like Eisenhorn, he at the beginning of the first book, he describes the different schools and the different sub-movements that that can be found within the Inquisition, and he even says what he is and what he believes in, but I'm now very much blanking on it. But let's say that there is something in between. And there we go. At the beginning of Xenos, which is the book that I reviewed last time, never mind, he said, I'm a Puritan by calling and an Amalathian by choice. So, you know what? I'm going to read it out for you a little bit so that you know what I'm talking about. This is a passage from Xenos, just explaining what the different sub-movements of the Inquisition are. So it is, by the way, written from the point of view of Gregor Eisenhorn, as if he was writing a diary. As a devoted member of His High Majesty, the God Emperor's Inquisition, I find my philosophy bent towards that of the Amalathians. To the outside galaxy, members of our order appear much alike. An inquisitor is an inquisitor, a being of fear and persecution. It surprises many that internally we are riven with clashing ideologies. I know it surprised Vibben. I spent one long afternoon trying to explain the differences. I failed. To express it in simple terms, some inquisitors are Puritans and some are radicals. Puritans believe in and enforce the traditional station of the Inquisition, working to purge our galactic community of any criminal or malevolent element, the triumvirate of evil, alien, mutant, and demon. Anything that clashes with the pure rule of mankind, the preachings of the Ministorum, and the letter of the imperial law is subject to a Puritan Inquisitor's attention. Hardline, traditional, merciless. That is the Puritan way. Radicals believe that any methods are allowable if they accomplish the inquisitorial task. Some, as I understand it, actually embrace and use forbidden resources such as the warp itself, as weapons against the enemies of mankind. I have heard the arguments often enough. They appall me. Radical belief is heretical. I am a Puritan by calling and an Amalathian by choice. The ferociously strict ways of the monodominant philosophy ofttimes entices me, but there is precious little subtlety in their ways, and thus it is not for me. Amalathians take our name from the conclave at Mount Amalath. Our endeavour is to maintain the status quo of the Imperium, and we work to identify and destroy any persons or agencies that might destabilize the power of the Imperium from without or within. We believe in strength through unity. Change is the greatest enemy. We believe the God Emperor has a divine plan, and we work to sustain the Imperium in stability until that plan is made known. We deplore factions and infighting. Indeed, it is sometimes a painful irony that our beliefs mark us as a faction within the political helix of the Inquisition. We are the steadfast spine of the Imperium, its antibodies fighting disease, insanity, injury, invasion. I can think of no better way to serve, no better way to be an Inquisitor. So you have me then, pictured. Gregor Eisenhorn, Inquisitor, Puritan, Amalathian. 42 years old standard, an Inquisitor for the past 18 years. I am tall and broad at the shoulders, strong, resolute. I have already told you, blah, blah, blah. But... by the way, in Malleus, the second volume, he is way, way over 100 years old. 150 years old, by the way. It's 41st millennium. It's, like grimdark science fiction. Rejuvenate, treatments and life-prolonging drugs are very much a norm there. So, it is very much an interesting thing to trace the character development of Gregor Eisenhorn from a Puritan to kind of a radical. Maybe really a radical. So we are in the middle of this trilogy, and once again, the writing style of Dan Abnett, you just heard it, is very high writing, very elaborate. He's a very good writer who knows how to put sentences together in a way that is engaging, but at the same time, it's not just your typical trash science fiction that you can find in a dollar bin, right? Very much enjoying this second time around. Not only the character of Gregor Eisenhorn, but also other characters, supporting characters, mainly then the antagonists that he is against, not like the main baddie in this case, and the demon host Kerubel, but also other inquisitors, who at the point of Malleus are against him, those extra Puritans who then pursue him. I'm not going to spoil much, but once again, it's very good, enjoying this, can't wait to read Hereticus or reread Hereticus for the second time and review it for you. So thanks for watching. My mind is tired. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Have you read Eisenhorn? Have you read all the books? What do you think about it? What's your favorite Warhammer book? Let me know all about that. And that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, the Emperor protects.